What's up, everybody? I'm in Melbourne City with the Cube of Truth. Let's see, keeping an eye on things. We've got lots of outreachers who aren't engaged right now, so I'm going live just to bring you into what we're doing here. Things are going well here today. We're getting a lot of conversations done. Had at least a couple of people go vegan already. Big shout out to everybody who's doing a cube this weekend. We're standing here in solidarity in Melbourne, also rocking. And I'll flip to show you the cube. Vegan from Saudi Arabia. Wow, I've never heard of that. I don't recall anyone joining from Saudi Arabia. Shout out to you, Hardy. Hey, Jessica. Yeah, so here we are, the Cube of Truth here in Melbourne. Here we've got pigeons being fed by one of our volunteers who's on break. Let's see. Let's have them. At some point, one of the pigeons will jump up, I think. They did before. They jumped up and stood on his hand. Maybe not. Oh, here we go. Just as I turned away. Alright, so for those who don't know, we're showing footage of the standard practices in the meat, dairy and egg industries. This is the egg industry. These chicks are blended alive while they're fully conscious for eggs. So if you consume eggs, this is what you're responsible for. Hi, Ann. Vegan in Dallas, Texas. Shout out to you. Sophia, hello from Palm Coast. Ours is in a couple weeks. Well, take this as inspiration. We're rocking here in Melbourne, and I'm glad to hear that others are cubing around the world. Be good to be down there and support you guys. You're welcome, Jessica. I always carry raw nuts for the squirrels. Oh, that's awesome, Sophia. It's always good to feed the animals. And here we have the meat industry. These are standard practices, what's happening to animals like pigs, who suffer no different in all the ways that matter to us, humans. And over here, we have the dairy industry. This particular scene is of the cows who are considered useless because they're exhausted. You saw one of them being carried away with a forklift. Hey Laura, good to see you always joining our live streams. Much love to you. Okay, so that's the dairy industry. And over here we have more of the meat industry. We've got the cube rocking here in Melbourne City on the busy Burke Street Mall. Outreach happening over there. Our Taronga Cube is happening next week. Oh, that's awesome, Jayden. Well, we're here to let you know that we're rocking here in Melbourne City, standing in solidarity with each of you doing cubes, whether it's this weekend or the next or the next. Just know that we're rocking every week here in Melbourne, getting this done for the animals, speaking to those who stop, who are open-minded. And I'm looking forward to showcasing another approach that we did last week called the Matrix approach, where we didn't have screens and it worked very effectively. We'll be doing that at some point in the near future, and I'll be going live from that event to show you guys that the outreach approach that we use is extremely effective. And for those who haven't seen the latest workshop for the outreach approach that we use at the Cubes, I urge you to go over to our YouTube and watch Holding Non-Vegans Accountable 2.0. Now there's some people that have stopped here, getting spoken to by one of our outreachers. And over here, there's two people who have stopped. Just over here. One of our outreachers is speaking to them. Now we have 2 pigeons, 3 pigeons. we're getting fed in glorious fashion by one of our outreachers who is on break at the moment. So here we are, Melbourne City. I hope you guys are standing strong for the animals in your city. Tomorrow our cube, as always. So great to see you doing them again. Awesome, Laura. Great foot traffic there. Wonderful place for a cube. Yeah, we love Bourke Street Mall. This is where we started. The first Cube of Truth ever happened right here on Bourke Street Mall. And we haven't moved from this location. It's just been phenomenal. We've tried multiple locations throughout Melbourne, but we keep coming back. Sad thing is, I have meat eaters tell me that animals die humanely. Yeah. Well, that's why we're here. We're here to tell them the truth. Even had one tell me to go kill myself because I shared a pic saying no difference between eating a barbecue and the poor animals that died during the bushfires. Well, that's a sign that you've pissed people off with the truth, and that's a good response, because usually the truth will make people feel uncomfortable and people lash out and shoot the messenger down rather than acknowledging that the message itself is what's angering them, and the reason they're angry is that they're angry at themselves for being responsible for it. The truth will do that. I would urge you to be comfortable with the truth doing that to people. That's just how it rolls. The truth by nature is confronting. I'm glad you guys show the dairy and the egg industry. A lot of people are not aware of the horrific things that happens in these industries. Most people think it's harmless. Go you guys. Word, that's why we're here, to show the whole truth and nothing but the truth to people. Thank you for your dedications. Thank you for your support. Hi Paul, it's so nice seeing masks aren't mandatory. Are there no COVID outbreaks? No, Thomas. We've got ease restrictions here. It's your choice whether you wear a mask here in Melbourne or not. If you go into a large establishment like Myer over there, for example, then usually at the storefront they'll tell you to wear a mask. But if you're out in public, it's not mandatory. They've loosened the restrictions here in Melbourne for at least a month or two now. In December we had to wear masks, but as of January I believe we no longer have to. Oh no, I'm so sorry that happened. We all get responses like that. Sophia's responding to someone else's comment there. Will die humanely. That's the worst when people actually believe that shit. Yeah. Well, of course they tell themselves that animals die humanely, because what else are they going to tell themselves in order for them to sleep at night? You know, people will either face this and be accountable for their actions, or they will tell themselves absurd things in order for them to sleep at night. And of course, that's the cowardly thing to do, is tell yourself lies. And we have to be comfortable, and we have to acknowledge that that's how humans behave. Wish I could do cubes, but it's still freezing. I actually took your Holding Non-Vegans Accountable video and shortened from 3 hours to 25 minutes of slides to get every AV volunteer wanting to attend this year to watch Summer. That's cool. Can you please reach out to me? Send me a message to my page, Paul Bashir. And I'd like to see what you've done there, because if we find it helpful, we'll also use it. Thank you for doing that, Summer. Shout out to you. I'd love to hear from you. Melbourne had an extremely strict lockdown, which is probably why they have let up. Yeah, that's true. We were insanely strict for about 6 months last year. Insanely strict, and yeah, so now we're able to ease restrictions. I think that's why. Yeah. Yes, it is a beautiful day here, April. Really nice sunny day. Akhtar says, eat halal, friends. Halal is no different. The animals are still stabbed in the throat, and if you put yourself in their position, even for a moment, to imagine yourself as the victim whom you're victimizing, there is no way you can justify it. You're still being stabbed in the throat. Halal is just as evil and no different from the animal's perspective to what you're seeing on the screens here. Halal is a terrible excuse and not a justification whatsoever for engaging in the worst kind of animal abuse that exists on this planet. Anyone who says halal, though, should be ashamed of themselves. free the dementia people from government's research on telepathy now. Okay, I don't know what that is. You're obviously trolling. Thank you so much for your courage, strength, and love to the animals. Thank you for your support. It's impossible to make sure halal is practiced and there's no need to eat animals in the first place. Hardy, even if it was practiced, it means nothing for the animals. You're forgetting the victim. That's the whole problem here. When we talk about halal or any other different way of doing this, we're forgetting about the victim and their perspective. They don't want this to happen, regardless of how it happens. We are just getting out of another stay-at-home order in the Bay. First cube will be next week. Oh, that's cool, Thomas. That's cool to hear. Halal is evil. I once bore witness at a halal slaughterhouse, the worst. There you go. And that's what I challenge anyone who says halal, 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 to actually see what it looks like from the animal's perspective in a halal slaughterhouse. How can stabbing an innocent animal in the throat be any better than what happens in... it's just completely forgetting about the victim. Enough is enough. We need to stop doing this to these innocent beings and stop being responsible for this. And if you're still using that pathetic excuse, you need to just stop. Alright, so I'm going to wrap this up now and get back to outreach. We've still got plenty of outreaches that are surplus at this point. That's why I've gone live, just to show you guys what we're doing here. And I just wanted to let you guys know that we are doing a cube and standing strong for the animals here in Melbourne. If you haven't been to a cube, then I'd like you to go over to our website and have a look at the location section to see if there's a cube near you. Get engaged by joining your local group and start volunteering. You can stand in the cube or you can do outreach. I also want to recommend, if you are engaged in outreach, to go ahead. What's that? Yeah. Ah, cool. A couple of trolls have showed up again. I also just want to say this to everybody out there who's watching right now. If trolls show up to the cube, don't engage. They're not there to be outreach. They're not going to listen to anything you have to say. Use it to your advantage by speaking to other bystanders, and obviously the bystanders will mention the trolls. And then just say, yeah, they're obviously here because they're threatened by what we do. Use it to your advantage in that way, but do not engage with the trolls. Okay, you're only giving them what they want, and you're not going to get through to them with anything you say, believe me. Also, if you are doing outreach at the cubes, it's mandatory that you go ahead and watch the outreach protocol that we have, the Holding Non-Vegans Accountable Outreach Workshop, which is on YouTube. Holding Non-Vegans Accountable 2.0, that's standardized now at each Cube of Truth. You are expected to do this approach. If you would like to start a Cube of Truth in your area, if there isn't already a cube in your area, you can set one up by going over to our website and joining. Go to the join section and apply to become an organizer. And with that, I'm going to kill the stream. Much love.